Hello, my name's Philip Krishna, and this is week 3 to Introduction to Music Production from Coursera. This week I'll be talking to you about mixing in Ableton Live. Submixing is important because it helps keep the music organized and can actually save RAM and usage if used correctly. Say you want to add reverb to all the separate drum tracks. Instead of going to each track and inputting the reverb, it's easier to just group all the drum tracks together and put reverb on the group track. This saves both time and CPU usage. However, you won't be able to have as much control of the effects since it's all layered, so all the tracks will be one effect and not individual tracks. So let's first start off by listening to the track that we're going to practice submixing with. So here it goes. This track is pretty simple, and I just want to keep it simple just so that we can work with it really fast. There are 3 ways to submix in Ableton Live, and I'll finish off with the way I find the easiest. The first way is by using the send feature. So the first thing we got to do is make sure that we have the IO button right here clicked and make sure that yellow button is showing, and this menu will pop up. So to do the sending feature, we basically have to highlight all the 4 clips, go to audio 2, and go to sends only. If you highlight all of them, it basically goes faster, so that way everything, if you just do it to one, it does every single one. So the next thing to do, of course, is to maybe rename this. So maybe we can rename this drums. And so let's just try playing and see what happens. As you can see, nothing seems to work. And the reason why is because channel A for all these is basically on a negative infinity, which is basically like it's muted. So the thing we have to gotta do is basically move this up. So okay, so let's just highlight all of them and do this. Let's bring it all the way up. So now let's play. See, now you hear all the reverb. So the next step to do is to get rid of the reverb layer in the effects. So now let's play it. Now that sounds fun. Now that way is pretty simple too, but another way that's a little bit easier than that is by using an audio track. So the first thing we gotta do is right click, insert audio track, and rename this to drum bus maybe. So now we have that, and we can just highlight all these 4 tracks, go to IO, go to master, and send to drum bus. So now if we play here, let me slow this volume a little. We don't seem to hear anything, and the reason is because we had sent it in. So as you can see, that was a pretty fast way to do it. But the way I usually do it is by using the group function, which is really simple. It's the same thing as what we do before, so we highlight all of them, but this time we just right click, group tracks, and then we get this. And I'll just rename this to drum bus, maybe just make it a little bigger, and then now if you play, let's see how it sounds. And then this is our volume controller, 54, and we can also change the color here, maybe to red, and then this way we'll know where the drum tracks are, and then the next track will maybe color a different color. And that's usually the way I do it because it just makes it really simple for me. So this here is a track I made using the group track function for submixing, and I showed this in my previous lesson as well, and I just organized it in a way that was convenient for me. It was basically the contact instruments and the play instruments were 2 different libraries, and if you expand it, you can see it gets pretty crazy. Let me just minimize these ones and then play you the 4th part of the score. There's a little bit of clipping because I think there's so much going on, and that's because I'm trying to screen record and play Ableton at the same time, and as you can see, there's a lot of files, so it would obviously go slow. Overall, this lesson went pretty well and went a lot faster than my previous lesson, and that's because I know how to screen capture and do video lessons a lot faster since I already learned from the previous lesson. So I hope you enjoyed my lesson. Thanks.